On the edge of the Yorkshire Moors is the picturesque town of Kirby Moorside, home to auctioneer Angus Ashworth.
Now, this is a good thing. I know a lot of you in here own Ferraris.
He's on a mission to help celebrities.
Welcome to Powell Towers.
Blimey, that was a knock.
Nice to see you.
And
Come
you.
on in.
Hello.
Turn prized possessions collected over their lives
And these are potentially to go, are they?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a bit weird.
into piles of cash.
If we auction this, we're going to go halves on the profit.
Come along as he visits their homes.
Basically, my home is your home.
Anything that doesn't fix cars can go. You can assure me you're actually an auctioneer. This isn't some weird burglary or something.
And uses his expert knowledge
If this is right, this could be something very special.
to uncover hidden gems,
The table at the back, I like more than anything else.
Yeah.
sentimental family heirlooms,
This is a problem when your mum and dad keep everything.
and the super strange.
So, how do you have Houdini's sack?
Then invites them back to his Yorkshire Auction House, where he sells their unwanted treasures
1,800 for Lawrence's pumpkin.
and makes them lots and lots of money.
Yes, thank you very much indeed.
It looks quite stylish, doesn't it?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. Your vinyl's come back into fashion, hasn't it?
Yeah. Very sort of retro, as I say now.
A classic.
An auction house is a great place to work if you like being taken back in time.
Oh, you're all right, Nick.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm not playing, I'm working.
Really?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
going to be one lot.
Yeah. Did you build that yourself, the farm?
I did, I assembled it myself. It's just pure instinct on
Because
this
it's a little bit Blue Peter-ish, isn't it?
one. Yeah, why?
Because guess where we're going today?
We're going to see an ex-Blue Peter presenter.
Correct.
All right.
But probably one of the most famous,
Anthia Turner.
Anthia Turner. Yeah, we're off to Anthia Turner's house. Well, technically we're off to her dad's house.
Okay.
But she's going to be there.
All right, oh, up for that. Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, I'll let you finish playing with your tractors and I'll grab the van keys.
All right, I think I'll see you out there in a bit.
When Anthia Turner joined Blue Peter in 1992, there was nothing she couldn't do with a toilet roll and sticky back plastic. From there, her fame grew, and so did the body of work that turned her into a national treasure. But she's never forgotten her roots in Stoke-on-Trent.
I used to think that, of course, people who lived in the south, everything was bigger and better and glitzier and more wonderful, and why wasn't I brought up here in the first place? And I cannot tell you how glad I am that I wasn't, that I was brought up here, have my feet on the ground, I had great parents and a really close family.
It's a 3-hour drive to the Turner family home in Stoke-on-Trent. The city's second most famous export is its ceramic industry, after Anthia, of course.
I think you're quite looking forward to this one, aren't you, Nick?
I am actually, yeah, admittedly. Yeah.
You remember Anthia Turner off telly?
Yes, very
Yeah.
well. Yeah. Well, I kind of grew up with her to a point.
We're actually going to her dad's house. It's where she grew up, you know, it's the old family home.
Generally, it's known as the money tree.
The money tree.
Anthia's father, Brian, who's 90, retired from running the family furniture business nearly 30 years ago. He's made a huge decision to sell his home.
It's quite a big property, you know, for one person to be rattling around in, and there's quite a lot of land attached to it. Unfortunately, Anthia's mother, Jean, died last year, so I'm here by myself. But as you get older, of course, it all needs looking after. And I've reached the grand old age now that it's impossible for me to do the work I used to do.
Which means selling the family home. Which means, of course, selling lots of the things in it, because we won't be able to fit them all where Dad's going to live.
As the house is already on the market, there's no time to waste. So it's lucky that the cavalry is on its way.
Here we are. Well, it looks nice, this, Nick, doesn't it? Oh, brother, what beautiful gardens.
Hello,
Hello.
Angus. Nice to see you.
And
Come
you.
on in.
Thank you very much. Brought Nick with me, yeah.
Nick. Wouldn't be the same without Nick.
No,
would it?
I know.
Come through. This is Brian, my dad.
Hi, nice to
Yes,
meet you. You're all right?
Yes, thank you. You?
Good. I'm very well. What a wonderful house you have.
Yes, we moved in 1977, bonfire night, actually.
Moved in with a bang then.
Yes.
So a new chapter.
And at
Yes.
90, it's good to have an
Yes.
adventure.
90, my word.
Yes.
Wow, you're looking
Yes.
good on it. If I understand it correctly, we're not really sort of emptying the house today. It's really sort of setting you on that journey ready for when the house sells.
That's right. The apartment Anthia's got, where I'm going to live, is completely furnished, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Down to the last knife and fork.
Yeah. Being Stoke, we couldn't come and not see porcelain, ceramics and pottery. And
Yes. Well, yes, I think we bought our first piece, about 60 years ago.
yeah.
And I think living
So
in
it's
Stoke-on-Trent, you generally, by osmosis, you soak it up.
So you into your pottery then, have you?
And I know it's the craziest A-level to have. I did pottery, craft and design.
So you've got a pottery A-level?
I've got a pottery
Is
A-level.
that standard in Stoke that you have to do that?
Yeah, you can't leave Stoke. You can't get on the M6 southbound or north unless you've got pottery A-level.
It's time to take a look around Brian's house and decide what can go in this first stage of selling up.
There's a few things in here. This is, what's it called? Is it because it's a nursing chair?
Yes,
is it?
they refer to that.
Yeah.
Victorian nursing chair, yes. They're always traditionally fairly low-seated
Yeah.
and a nice sort of upholstered deep button back there.
Nursing chairs were set low so upper-class mothers could maintain their poise and corsets while breastfeeding.
Absolutely fine. I mean, the Victorian furniture's having a bit of a hard time, but, would be absolutely fine to go.
Brian has quite a few bits of silver, pieces he bought and inherited. Nick makes a start on packing them.
It is a big spoon, isn't it?
Yes, very
yeah.
A ladle.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
One piece has caught Angus's attention.
Have you had it a long time? What's your history with it?
About, I should say, 50 years at least.
It's an interesting spoon, and it's in the style of a 17th century spoon, and we've got the Dutch marks here, and then what we've got on the back is we've got the English marks, the import marks.
Yeah.
So it was imported into the UK in 1871, so it would have been made, in the late 1860s, 1870, in the style of one from the 1600s. So yeah, lovely thing, I think interesting, but in reality, we're probably sort of 100 to 150 pounds in the current market.
I don't think you should ever underestimate the pressure of downsizing. And I've had to do it. I got divorced and had to downsize drastically. So I know only too well the emotion of making decisions about what has to go. And everything has a memory.
In the end, they decide to keep the spoon in the family for now.
How do you think your dad's doing? Because, I mean, it is quite a wrench, isn't it?
I thought I was going to have a battle. And he went, no, you're right. I don't want him to be lonely.
Yeah.
And I think he understands that. And I want to look after my dad.
Time is ticking, Angus. There's a lot to get through.
That's quite a good mirror, that, isn't it? Actually, when you look at this from a distance, it looks beautiful. You thought, wow, is it silver? But it's been silver plate. We've got a base metal there, and then it's been plated at some point. It's had a bit of a hard life. It's a nice thing. It's very decorative, and this sort of thing does sell well. We're probably sort of 70 to 100 pounds, something like that. Brian's got a really lovely Worcester porcelain collection, and Worcester's one of the top names in English porcelain, and arguably one of the longest running English factories that there were.
Royal Worcester was founded 70 miles south of Stoke in 1751. It was fit for royal tea parties and world famous for its exquisite designs.
And actually, these were all hand-painted by artists. They employed a team of artists to paint these lovely scenes on it there. This style of Worcester is hugely popular. 20, 25 years ago, would have done a lot of money, created a lot of excitement online. Sadly, although there's still a market for it, they have gone off the boil somewhat. People aren't having cabinets full of decorative ceramics like they used to. So I think in the current market, a set of 9 like that, we're probably looking about sort of 300 to 500 at auction. I love this. So this is a real traditional form of pottery and it's classed as slipware. You can see where it's all been layered up as it's been made. So the best thing about this is it's made by Anthia Turner, 1975, and I think that is wonderful. It looks like, you know, it could be a much earlier piece. This could easily be something from the 1800s.
This vase is staying with Brian, but there's plenty more that Anthia made earlier.
Anthia, you're a talented lady, aren't you?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but this is a problem when your mum and dad keep everything that you made and you came home with.
The big question is, are you going to let me take one of these unique pieces?
Well, perhaps somebody would like that.
A mug, yeah. Is it signed? It is.
Of course it's signed.
Look at that. Well, I think that's the star of the day.
Pack it really carefully, won't you?
I will.
Like bubble wrap and everything.
Yeah, we've got a whole box just for this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Angus and Nick have picked and packed over 30 items from Brian's house.
I think it's a new chapter in Brian's life. You know, it's going to be tough walking away from this family home that's been here his whole life. And at 90, he's starting that new adventure in London. You know, you've got to take your hat off to somebody like that. But I think it would be lovely to be near his 2 daughters and his grandchildren. So it's all very positive, sad, but also very positive. Well, slight problem.
Ah, so you're not in a lot. Can't go with Angus.
Must be in the van.
I know.
Well, yeah, next thing's auction day, so
Yeah.
we'll look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
That's all they need, a narrow drive in reverse gear with a van full of ceramics. Be careful with that mug, Angus. It could be worth a small fortune.
You all right, Mark?
How was your trip?
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
147 miles later, and Angus is back in Kirby Moorside. No need for heavy lifters on this trip.
Oh, then.
Hey, hang on, we're not finished
right,
yet,
okay.
Mark. Nice gilt sort of fire fender. A little bit yesterday's taste, sadly, but still good quality, aren't they?
Well, that's what they'll sell it, won't it, the quality?
Yeah.
Right.
Inside, Brian's 16 pieces of Royal Worcester are getting the once-over by senior valuer Chris.
So one of the good things about Royal Worcester is that it can be quite easy to date sometimes. They use what we call date ciphers on many of their markings from the late 19th century all the way through the 20th. If you looked at the base there, you've got a letter for W and then a various range of dots, and I think it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they started at W in 1950, plus 9 dots, that's 1959. That tells me that was created in 1959. There's no rare dates or anything like that. What you're really looking for in particular, especially with these painted pieces, is the pattern itself and who painted it. This particular one, it's not worth a great deal of money. It's a nice little thing on its own, but not quite what they used to be.
Amongst the haul from Stoke is the Turner family silver.
Straight away we can see that it's Indian.
And it's caught the eye of sale room manager Jeremy.
Simply because of all this very, very fancy, it's called repousse or hammered work on it. And all this is done from the inside, and it's got this fantastic bird in amongst these flowers here. So it's a really pleasant thing. And it is a rose water sprinkler or a rose water dispenser. So rose water would have been used to make either your clothing or your atmosphere where you were working to smell more pleasant. We're going to call it a piece of silver because that's what we think it is, but it doesn't have a proper hallmark on it. Indian silver's notorious for not being hallmarked. I mean, probably about sort of 1900, that sort of date, maybe a bit earlier, but a really, really super thing, fantastic quality.
Six weeks later, Brian's house has been sold, so the need to get rid of his collectibles is more urgent than ever.
So you're all excited?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, wondering if everything's going to, you know, get a fortune for us.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best. But I think we should be all right. You know, some nice bits of silver. So
Yeah.
you know, there's been a bit of pre-sale interest. So we'll see how we get on. Why don't you come on in and have a look round?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, the chair.
That was a rescue chair, actually. It stood outside our workshops for a good 6 months before it was rescued. So we had it repaired.
When you spend years, or well, my entire life, seeing all of these pieces in the house, and now I'm seeing them in an auction room, it feels a bit odd, to be honest.
Yes.
Anthia and Dad Brian, you know, they've got some really good lots in really good quality, some nice bits of silver, which I think are going to do well. I think Anthia's, you know, I think she might struggle actually today, seeing the items there that she's grown up with.
One of the lots Anthia is finding most hard to part with are the 9 Royal Worcester dessert plates. So she set the reserve at £800. That's 300 above the estimate.
Buying things is easy. Letting things go is hard.
Well, there's no going back now, Anthia. The bidders are waiting. Helping the online customers today is Charlotte and Eleanor, while Vanya is on porter duty. All that's left is for Angus to take to the podium and unleash the public on today's catalogue.
Morning, everybody. Morning. I feel like a school teacher. Great.
First out of the gate is the pretty little mirror that's seen a lot of Turner family life.
£40 for the dressing table mirror there, 40 bid, 42, 5, 5, 5, 5, all came in at the same mark though. £48 it is, then at 48.50. Fresh bid online at 50, it's 55. At 55 it is, might as well round it up to 60. 60 and bid at 60. 65 it is, then at 65 it is, then at 65.
Sold, and the ornate mirror is heading to a new home in Lincolnshire.
I think that's a good price.
The first of Brian's Royal Worcester collection is up next. A Burslem squat baluster vase.
5, 5, 5, 45, lovely piece. At 45 it is, 48, 50, 50 and bid at £50 it is, then at 50, at £50 it is, 5, 5. Go on, you know you want to. 55 at 55 at 55. You're buying a bit of Anthia's childhood here. At £55 it is, then at 55. Wheatening. 60, thank you, madam. At £60 it is, then at 60 it is. In the room at 60, you might... 65. 65, you're out at 65 at 65.
I'm surprised at that.
Yeah.
What about those 9 dessert plates that Anthia doesn't really want her dad to sell?
The group, first 4 of them showing there, the group of 9 Royal Worcester dessert plates there. £300 a bit at 300 at £300, £100.
Angus is going to work hard to hit Anthia's £800 reserve.
340, got a bit of interest coming in now. 360, 380, 400, 420, 440, 460, 480. I've got £500 bid at 500, 520, 540, 560.
If you want to change your mind, Anthia, now's the time.
620, serve
What do you think we should do? If I look at Angus, we can stop it. What do you think?
Well, I should let them go.
At 660 then, we all done at 660. I'm selling that at, you're offering 680. I have a bid of 680. At 680. At 680, £700 a bid at 700, at £700 it is, then at 700. At £700.
That's £200 over Angus's estimate, but £100 less than Anthia's reserve, so those plates will be going home after all. Moving on. What's up next, Angus?
This is the most elaborate fire fender you've ever seen. There we go. The Rococo style there. We've got bids all over now. 110, 120. 120 a bid at 120 is it now? 130. 140 bid. 140 at £140. Any advance now? At 140.
I'm surprised that's gone for such a high price.
Now it's the turn of the family silver. starting with the rosewater sprinkler.
International interest, no less. 100, 110, 130, 140, 140 pound a bid. 140, 150, is it? 150, 160, thank you. 160, at 160. We're all done at 160. 170, thank you, sir. 170 in the room. At 170 it is. 180, 190. At 190, 200 just in time. Thank you, sir. At 200 it is then. Selling then. At 200 pounds.
That's a good one.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
The bachelor's tea service for all you bachelors in the room.
And the bids just keep on coming for a pair of Edwardian coffee and tea sets.
120.
Adding extra sparkle to the auction.
At 200 pounds.
And results. So it's a triumph for the silverware. But can Angus keep the momentum going?
Now, the lot you've all been waiting for. This is the Anthia Turner 1978 pottery mug, signed and dated.
St Dominic's School for Girls, can I just point out?
£30 for this rare Anthia Turner mug. 30, whip it! £30 online at £30. At £30 it is then at 32. We're off now. 32 it is then at £32. At 32, 5, don't miss out now. 35, anywhere is it now? 35, they're back in. At 35 it is then at 35. I'm going to sell then. 35 it is then at 35.
Yes! Anthea's mug will soon be on its way to live by the sea in Redcar. Finally, the nursing chair. Once abandoned outside Brian's workplace, now being wheeled in like the old lady that she is.
Beautiful Victorian nursing chair there. There we go. £50 start me. 50, 50 and bid. 5, 60, 60 and bid at £60 at 65, 65, 70 at £70.
Nursing chair dispatched, and overall it's been another great day of bidding. But how did Brian and Anthea fare?
Hi, you all right?
I was surprised how good I thought it was a good sale for the silver.
Well, there was the Indian silver.
Yes, yes.
Well, which has gone back to India. Sold to somebody in India.
No, oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, so that's sold to India.
I love that. That's the best story.
So what did sell means that you'll be taking home £1,385.
Yes, okay, you're right.
Overall, the results Anthea and her dad were pretty good. You know, the silver sold particularly well. Fantastic that the rose sprinkler went back to India. I think overall they're very happy.
We've still got a lot more than there's already here.
Yes.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
So somebody's got to buy it at some stage. So.
This was our practice, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I think now I've pulled myself together. Now we won't dither so much.
The result of the day is her mug. I mean, what an outstanding result that was.
Yes!
I think her dad's going to be turfing a few boxes of Anthea's childhood pottery out and cashing in on those in the future.
Auction houses are full of surprising collections. Every day brings the chance of yet more.
Morning, Mark.
Morning.
You all right?
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, good. Got a job to go and do in Cheshire.
Right.
And you might have heard of the chap, Simon Gregson.
Coronation Street?
Coronation Street, yeah.
They're going to the home of soap royalty Simon Gregson, or Steve McDonald to Coronation Street fans. He first stepped onto the Corrie cobbles, aged just 14, after producers visited his school in Stoke on a casting call.
We were in assembly and I thought, ooh, people from TV. It was all like fairy tale land, you know? So I'd never acted in my life. So I'm like, I really don't know what to do here. So anyway, they said, look, this is the premise, just act out a scene. I think the scene was, Mum and Dad have gone out for the night, you throw a party, something goes wrong. I was like, oh, I'm well-versed in this area. So I just kind of acted out what I did at my mum and dad's house.
They cast him immediately. Now, 34 years later, he's still one of the show's most enduring talents.
Steve still got his cab business, he's got his crazy wife who everyone's frightened of. But, you know, it's great. I just go in and we just abuse each other all day long, you know, loads of banter, and then go home. It pays to go and have a laugh. I'm very, very lucky.
And so is specialist valuer Mark, who doesn't often go on house visits.
Well, it's about time I got you out of the sale room, really.
Well, yeah, it's been a while since I've been out.
I think you're going to be in for a treat, Mark.
We are crossing the Pennines again, and we seem to go across them a lot.
It'll take the duo 3 hours to get to actor Simon Gregson's home in Wilmslow in Cheshire. What people don't know about this soap legend are his magpie tendencies, where he'll collect just about anything.
He's clearly into engines and fast stuff, and he's got like go-karts and electric scooters and mowers and stuff, so I thought best bring you to have a look at those.
Yeah.
But it's not just motors. Simon has other tastes too.
It started off with fossils, and my friend rang me and said, "Why are you collecting dinosaur fossils?" And I genuinely said to him, well, they might be worth something one day. He said they've been in the ground for 260 million years. I think they've reached their peak.
He's got 3 boys.
Yeah.
And clearly, I mean, that typical dad thing that we all do, of buying toys that you think they might like that you really want yourself.
Exactly.
And I think he's decided that it's time to thin those toys out.
My wife's gone mad and said, get Angus and the crew round and get rid of all your stuff. Hence why he's here.
Oh, here we are, nearly drove past it. Don't worry, I won't squash it. That'll do. How you doing? You all right?
I'm good, are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I brought Mark with me today.
Hi, Mark. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good stuff. How is it that 2 Yorkshire lads can help then?
Well, I've got an eclectic mix of bits and pieces lying around.
So you need to have a bit of a thin out and move stuff on.
Yeah, move stuff on, hopefully make a little bit of cash, go towards my eldest first car fund.
Right, yeah.
I don't think he has any idea about how much things cost or what will get insured, but he's slowly coming round to the idea of having a cheap car.
Oh, shall we take a look in the garage?
Yep, let's go.
Have a look. It's your typical garage, isn't it? Bit of all sorts. You clearly like tinkering with engines and gadgets.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I go through phases, then get bored very easily. This was one of them, the go-karts.
Yeah.
Me and the boys were going to go and race this, but the boys are so heavily into football. We've never used it. The chap who bought it off, he hardly used it, and it is what it is. It's been outside for a bit.
Bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it's really good. He reckons it'll do about 70 mile an hour, this thing.
No way.
Hmm?
God, you wouldn't want to be sat in that, would you?
No, you wouldn't. No.
So, potentially a few bits in here. You happy for us to have a root around?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, have a rummage. Don't kill yourself, because it is a bit messy.
No, it's all right.
Anything that doesn't fix cars can go.
All right.
All right, happy days.
While Mark starts to sift through the garage, Simon and Angus pay a visit to the annex.
What a great room.
It started off as the boys' playroom, and it's now become a place for the boys to bring all the friends, you know?
Yeah. And these are all sort of bits that are potentially to go, are they?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Starting with the old arcade machine here.
Fantastic.
Loads and loads of games on there, all the old retro stuff.
Is that something you've had a long time, then?
Yeah, I've had that a good few years, yeah. But no one really plays on it now.
A bit old school for the lads.
It is a bit, yeah.
And I've actually got a few fossils. Is that a phase you went through?
My wife bought me a Mosasaurus teeth for a Valentine's Day gift, and I loved it.
I mean, it's an unusual Valentine's Day gift, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, what you buy the guy that thinks he's got everything.
And
the Ferrari tools, yeah. I used to have a
and
classic Ferrari.
I was going to say the Ferrari's gone, so you don't need it. Yeah.
So I don't need the tools anymore.
Yeah.
Never used. I just thought it was a nice little item to go with the car.
OK, so plenty of auction potential in the annex. What about other collectibles from Simon's phases?
I see this is the watch phase, then.
That was the very small watch collection. Yeah. The Rolex I bought in 2002. It's a Rolex Submariner date, and I think I paid £2,300 for that. I'm pretty sure Rolexes go up, so that might be worth a punt.
But it's not just watches in Simon's jewellery box.
And what are they? Cufflinks?
They're rare Corrie souvenirs.
They were actually gifted to us all in 1995, I think.
Well, that would have been to celebrate...
It's 30 years.
35 years.
35
It says
years.
1960 to 1995.
There you go. 35
Coronation
years.
Street.
They've just been in a drawer, never been seen the light of day ever since. I'm not going to wear them because I'm frightened of losing them, which is the same reason that the Rolex is going. What's the point of having all this money on your wrist?
Back in the garage, Mark's found another stash.
Maybe something of interest.
Yeah, I'll have a little route through.
I'll carry on.
Yeah, excellent. Well done, Mark. Handcuffs, I mean, as you would, you know. It's that 1916. And these are military issue because they've got the broad arrow mark on it. There you go, military handcuffs. I've never been in a set of those. I was never in trouble with the military police when I was in. Missing their key, but it's a fairly standard one.
While Mark starts to pack up Simon's relics and some artworks, Angus has spotted something on the bar.
What have we got? Oh, there we go. It's a bottle of Madeira. Now, a lot of perhaps younger people might not know what Madeira is. Well, it's sort of similar to a pause. It's sort of a sweeter version. And this is particularly good. We've got it all marked up there because this is a war period one, 1914. Nice wax top on it. And what's important is you do get sediment in this, which we can see there. But what we don't want is too much seepage, so the gap from the neck doesn't want to be too low. That's a bad sign.
A gap may mean there's been a leak and oxidization. But don't worry, Madeira is virtually indestructible. One drinkable Madeira, bottled 300 years ago, recently sold at auction for £25,000. This one will go for a little less. The Madeira needs no help getting onto the van. But it's all hands on deck to lift the go-kart and the gaming machine.
Right, back to Yorkshire. Well, what an interesting day. Simon's a great guy. He clearly goes through phases of collecting bits and bobs. We've got a Rolex watch, we've got some fossils, we've got a retro arcade machine. I mean, it's just a random mix, but I think that sums him up. I think his wife's going to be happy that he's let some of it go. Simon, we're all done, we're all loaded up. I mean, it's quite a mix.
Yeah, been through a lot of phases.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, it turned out well in the end.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you on sale day.
Yeah, see you then.
All right, cheers. Bye.
See you, bye. It's not as decluttered as we all want, but it's on its way to being decluttered. I can actually start to tidy up a bit now. So, yeah, it's all very positive. It's all good.
With such a diverse load, every valuer back at base will need to draw on years of experience to price up this collection.
Morning, Angus.
Hi, Jack. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not bad.
The next day, the team are back in Yorkshire to empty the van and start documenting Simon's things.
Oh, we're so strong, Jack.
Over the next 2 weeks, the team collate every item into 27 lots, which will go into the catalogue a week prior to the sale.
I knew that was your favourite thing off the job.
Yeah. Not very often you get a chance to hold a good, nice example of a woolly mammoth tusk. The thing about this, Angus, it's not actually fossilised into stone. It is the real thing, so well preserved.
He said originally it came up in the trawler net, so it's come out from the seabed, which is, you know, it's just incredible what's beneath our feet, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah.
I think that's potentially, what, 4,000 years old? Longer? The tusk's a hard one because they can make good money if they're in, I mean, although it's well preserved, it has lost a lot off the bottom, so who knows?
And what about that Rolex? How much cash might that bring in?
It's a Submariner, and, you know, it's water resistant down to 1,000 feet, so this is a professional watch. It's not just to look good. Now, they range massively in price depending on the variants and various different things. You know, some Rolex Submariners can be over 100,000, up to even 300,000 pounds. The majority, however, are sub 10,000. So this is in that category, you know, still several £1,000s worth and still a very good thing. So I'm very confident that his watch is going to sell well.
3 weeks later, and actor Simon Gregson arrives for auction day.
Morning.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, how you doing? You all right?
I'm all right, thanks,
Good,
Angus,
yeah. Yeah, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, can't wait. First time for me at an auction, so
Yeah.
look forward to it, yeah. It's when it's your own stuff, even better, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had a bit of interest, yeah.
Cool.
Well, why don't we come in and have a look around?
OK, happy days.
Enjoy yourself.
Ta. It smells like a museum. It smells like an antique shop. Maybe because it's a room full of antiques.
That could be it, Simon.
Trevor the Velociraptor, right, Trev?
One of the many models that's been cluttering up Simon's house along with his Ferrari tools.
They are a lovely set of tools and they cost me a fortune. So I'm hoping that they go for money. But knowing me, I'll probably get £24 for the lot.
Simon's a great guy, but he's got quite a mixed collection. It's a mixed bag. A go-kart, a mammoth tusk, and a Rolex watch. I think we'll be all right.
One thing's for sure, the boss is going to do everything he can to push up those bids. Helping to monitor online customers today are Jasper and Jack, while Sammy is on porter duty. Gavel polished, Angus is performance ready.
Onto this lovely collection from the other side of the Pennines.
Oh.
The Madeira is up first, bottled more than a century ago at the outbreak of the First World War.
Ooh, for the connoisseurs of you out there, where should be for this? 150 bid, £150 a bid at 150.
The bidding opens high.
160, 170.
Online bidders push it even higher.
170, 170, 180, 190. 190, you won't remember drinking it, but it'll be good. 190 it is, then we're all done at £190.
Not a bad start for the Madeira.
It's the only thing I've ever made money on.
Go back to reality now.
Next is a lot that's definitely the oldest thing in the sale.
This is the bit of mammoth tusk that came up from a trawler, I think, is that right?
Yeah, found in the North Sea. I did have quite a large collection of fossils, but
Yes.
my youngest child buried them in the garden. So in years to come, there's going to be a lot of surprised archaeologists.
But this is the bit that survived the Great Burial. Where should we be for this? 50, 55 we're off at 55 a bid at 55 it is then at 55. 60, 60 a bid at £60 a bid at 65, £65. 70, £70 a bid at 70. At £70 you all came in on the same nose there at 75 is it now? 75, 75 a bid at £75 a bid at 75. At 75 it is then at £75.
Sold to a buyer from Leicester. Here's hoping they don't bury it in the garden. Now for that gaming machine, looking for a high score in the auction room.
Where should be? £200 start me for it. £200. This superb arcade machine. 200, we're off. At £200 a bid at 200 it is. At 200, 210. 210 a bid at 210. 220, 220, 230. 230 a bid. 240. One more, go on at 250, 250. 250, 260, 270, 270 a bid at 280, £280 at 290, one more for you. Go on, 290 at 290, 300. At £300 it is then at £300. We're all done at 300.
Happy days.
5.
So the gaming machine gets to be played for another day. What about the go-kart? Who will be speeding away in that?
It's fast. It's got its cover, it's got a stand and everything to go with it. There we go, where should be for it? £300 start me, £300 for the go-kart. £300 surely. I mean, it's great fun as this. Yeah, otherwise we'll put it into our big automobilia sale. New lease of life, midlife crisis. Can see some of you in this.
Angus will try and find a bidder in a specialist auction later. Hopefully there's a buyer waiting for the next lot.
Now this is a good thing. I know a lot of you in here own Ferraris.
Maybe not.
I can open at 160, at 160, 170,
Aha, there are bidders online.
180, 180, 180 it is then at 180 it is then at 180, 190, 200. At £200 it is then at 200. 210 anywhere is it now? At £200 it is then at £200 at 200.
Well done, Angus. Happy, Simon?
A bargain.
And he's not finished yet. From luxury goods to fighting crime and those Edwardian handcuffs.
There we go, where should be, please? Got £20 straight in at £20 a bid at 20, at 22, 5, 5, £25 at 25 it is, then at 25, 28, commissions out, at £28 it is, then at 28, we're all done for the handcuffs, at £28, 30, fresh bid, 30, £30, for the handcuffs at 30, I'm selling it, 30, 2, 32, I know every pound helps, at 32 it is, then at £52.
And who knows what the new owner from Chorley is going to do with those. It's the turn of Simon's watch collection, and after rattling through 5 of them, including a Casio G-Shock Rangeman,
at £210.
a Seiko stainless steel chronograph,
170.
and a job lot of timepieces, including a Victorian pocket watch.
Selling at 48.
Angus turns his attention to the star of the show, Simon's Rolex Oyster Submariner.
He's selling this to buy his son a car. And they've gone up in value, cars.
Not as much as Rolex, come on.
It's a good piece, is that there? I can open at 3.6, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9. 4,000, 4.1, 4.2 I have. At 4.3, fresh bid at 4.3, 4.4, fresh bid at 4.4, 4.5, 5,000, thank you. At 5,100, at 5.2.
A handful of bidders just won't give up.
5.4, 5.5, 5.6. At 5.7 it is. It's 5.8. 5.8 it is. At 5,800. Anybody else like a Rolex Submariner? At 5,800 it is. At 5.8. We all done at 5,000. 5.9. Just in time. You might as well round it up to 6. It'd be a nice round number, wouldn't it? 5.9 it is. At 6,000. Thank you. £6,000 bid. At 6,000 it is. At £6,000 I'm going to sell then at 6,000.
So the Rolex is off to a new owner in Leeds.
That's Alfie's now getting the bus and I'm getting a car.
I think he's joking. How much will he get to spend on it?
You're right.
Yeah, good.
It was an experience for you, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, you know, regardless of whether stuff went for less than I expected or they went just right. The whole purpose is to get money for Alfie's car.
Well, you'll be taking home £8,256.
Yowzers, that's how much we got for everything.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, no problem at all. No, thank you very much.
Thank you, Angus.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
And I hope Alfie gets the car.
I'll get him to drive past your house and bib in a way of gratitude. When you go into these kind of things, you never know what's going to happen. It's an auction. You don't know who's there on the day. But you have to think about it sensibly. A lot of it has been sat in a box in the garage. A lot of it has been sat in a drawer in the house for years doing nothing. And now it's been turned into proper money. So great, just from stuff lying around the house.
I think he's enjoyed it. I don't think he really knew what to expect. But the best thing is, you know, it's going to cover the cost of that car, that first car.